back block, and that's
the guy that throws his body around.
Mic Drop Sports. Steel City Live.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Mic Drop Sports and Steel City Live here on Mic Drop Sports. We appreciate y'all for diving in. As always, what's up, Zach Curry? What's up, my Floyd is Pink 79? Good to see you guys. We'll get to the chat here in 1 second. Yesterday, the Pittsburgh Steelers, did they finally play a complete game? And did they finally show you as a fan that they can play as a complete team? This is a team sport. Did they play that complete game that you were looking for as a fan? And was it enough for you to stop worrying about this defense? Is it enough for you as a Steeler fan to be confident about that team moving forward here as they start to play some really decent teams here over the next several weeks? We'll get the schedule out that way. I have it here in front of me. But yeah, they're going to be playing teams like the Chargers, the Bengals again, a team that beat them in prime time. They've gotten some teams here, got some teams here that are going to be coming up that are going to still give them some trouble. Some teams that play a brand of football that the Steelers necessarily don't want to play. Steelers, yeah, they can get in those games where I think they can win some high scoring games, no doubt about it. I think Aaron Rodgers can put points on the board. But when you play a team like the Bengals, you saw what they did yesterday. They can put a gazillion points up there, but they can't stop anybody. And will you allow them as the Steelers to stop you more than their defense, more than the Steelers defense stops the Cincinnati Bengals defense? It's troublesome. Yes, we're still worried, in my opinion. I'm still worried about the product that's being wheeled out there. But I saw something yesterday that gave me a little bit of hope. I thought the body language was a little bit better yesterday, and that was something that I really, really like to see. Let me change my brightness on my screen, guys. Sorry. I want to change it. It's not as bright as I normally would like it. Oh, I guess it is. I guess it really don't matter. I guess the app told me that didn't want to be like that. Didn't want to be brighter. Zach Curry says, "Whew, can't wait to watch. I got off work early. Hey man, well welcome. I'm glad you're able to catch a show. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you always saying nice, kind things. Best Steelers chat on the internet. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, Zach. My Floyd is Pink 79. With the Dolphins firing their GM, a lot of people on Fox Sports Radio today said the new GM is willing to trade away players that the old GM wouldn't. Maybe we make a trade for Waddle tomorrow. You never know. You never know how that's all going to transpire. Maybe they don't make any trades at all now that you see somebody else now maybe running the ship there. Maybe that's the other side of the coin. We just don't see it yet. These guys on national TV are wrong quite often, so I don't trust them, man. I don't trust them, but we'll see, buddy. Maybe they do. The Steelers need to find somebody as a number two. They do. They do need that, and I admit that at the beginning of the season, I thought that they could get away with they being able to utilize the tight end sets. Well, guess what? They haven't. So that's on them. They haven't not been able to be deadly enough that it takes away the concern where you don't have a true number two. So, yeah, it's an issue, man. Hey, Walt, bang, bang, Steeler gang, what's up, man? Good to see you. Troy 4769. The run game has to improve greatly. Absolutely, and I think it has been over the last several weeks. I think they have been improving in terms of the Steelers' run game. I think that they have improved. I think they've done some things that were nice here over the last several games. They've ran the football. But yeah, it has to improve. It has to be better, Troy. You're absolutely right. No doubt about it. It needs a vast improvement from what you saw Sunday. There was not any real resemblance of a run game there for the Steelers, and that was a problem. But that was true on both sides of the coin yesterday for both teams. Here's a graphic yesterday showing the Indianapolis Colts and what they were doing rushing the football yesterday. Jonathan Taylor held the 14 carries on 45 yards, only averaging 3.2 yards per carry. And the big one for me with Jonathan Taylor, there was 0 touchdowns scored by Taylor. And there were opportunity to get the ball and for him to punch it in, and he was not able to. And the rest of the team only bringing up another 10 yards total. So you look at the Indianapolis Colts rush yards yesterday, and you see 55 yards rushing. Is that what it equaled out to? That's pretty damn good. But the Steelers were stifled also inside of the run game. But the Steelers were the benefactor of their defense being able to do something the Colts defense wasn't able to do, and that was cause turnovers. Peyton Wilson, phenomenal game, interception, caused another interception with a batted ball. You saw TJ Watt with a strip sack. You saw Alex Highsmith do the same. You saw the interceptions by Joey Porter Jr. It was not, well, interception by Joey Porter Jr. totaling 6 in total, which was really a breath of fresh air. And when we talk about the Steelers defense, guys, I need to put it in perspective for you guys. When this defense was built, if you're looking at what they did in Latrobe, this was never a defense that was going to stifle people and shut down a pass game. It just wasn't. What does this defense rely on to be good? And that's turning the football over. They have to have turnovers to be successful defensively. That is a necessity for them. They can't win without it, in my opinion. They can't get off the field enough in terms of regular 4 down situations in order to be successful. They have to be able to turn the ball over, and that's where they're going to generate their stops. They have to be able to get to the quarterback. They have to be able to turn the ball over in terms of interceptions. And that is what we thought this defense was going to be. And what the Steelers have built this all on is turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. They have to have them. If not, they're going to be up shit creek without a paddle, because this defense is going to give up yards. Their MO right now is turn the ball over and shut down the run game. They're going to give up passing yards. It's just what's going to happen. Hopefully, they can start to continue to clean that up. Hopefully. But they're going to continue to give those up, and they're going to rely on getting turnovers and shutting down the run. That's what they're going to be all about. And I feel like that's how they kind of built this defense. And you've heard it many times before with the Steelers, bend but don't break, which I hate that shit so bad. But that's exactly what the kind of ball they're playing right now, at least defensively. Craig Werlow, crap. Steelers signed Scantling and released Beanie. This better not be it. I did not see that. If that is true, somebody make sure you go in and verify that again, because that's crazy. So MVS Marquez Valdez Scantling is signed to the Pittsburgh Steelers. If we can verify it, I didn't see it. I trust what Craig says. Craig seems to be pretty decent. I hate Beanie Bishop being gone because I like depth there, and I feel like they get beat up so much on the back end in terms of the secondary. So I really worry there that you're taking depth away. And I know it's a practice squad player, but you never know when you're going to need those guys, especially a guy that was able to intercept the football several times last season. Swag, Nifigant, 864. If they can go on the road and beat the Chargers in LA, then I'll say that they might be legit. I think the Chargers are going to be a good team, but we have to look at the Chargers right now as it sits. If you look at what they have going on right now, they're going to be missing both of their starting tackles. And I know that isn't a guarantee, but that could be trouble for a guy like Justin Herbert, who definitely relies on rhythm, relies on his strong arm to get the ball out of there, and he wants to throw the ball down the field. That's going to switch things up tremendously for them. They're going to need to throw a lot quicker passes, and they're going to need to hit the checkdowns. They're going to need to definitely alter their game plan in terms of what they want to do with Justin Herbert's big arm. So maybe that plays into the Steelers' advantage. So maybe they're catching the Chargers at the right time. Last season, they were able to defeat the Chargers at home, and that was with far less in terms of quarterback play. Bang Bang says Jalen Waddle is about to be in the building. I don't buy it, man. I just don't know, man. I don't. If they brought Marquez Valdez Scantling in, I don't know. I doubt that will happen. What's up, Justin Menike? Good to see you, man. The Scott 21 38 5. the Scott. They afford Waddle. I don't think they can. And that's the thing, guys. I know we want to do Madden stuff, and I know that that's all good in theory, and I know it gets a lot of clicks with these people that put out all these crazy trades, but Jason doesn't do that to you. I'm a realistic person, and they can't afford Waddle at this point right now. I don't know how they make it work financially. Maybe they could get him as a 1 year rental, but the Steelers plan on this, guys. They plan on having a very, very big draft next year in 2026, and they're not going to be willing to trade off massive key pieces of that draft class already before it ever even happens. Yeah, they'll trade the six, they'll trade the sevens, they'll trade those pieces, maybe some other little interesting picks, maybe, a duplicate pick in around 3, 4, or 5. They'll do something like that, but they are not giving away any of the big guns. They are not going to do it. They know Aaron Rodgers is not long in the tooth for the NFL, and they are going to find a quarterback, hell or high water. I can guarantee you that. So, any of these unrealistic trade options, per se, a Jalen Waddle or somebody of that nature, the price would have to be absolutely fantastic for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's the only way something like that happens. And if they did bring in MVS, which I'm not saying is true, because I have not seen it with my own two eyes. I'll wait for more of you guys to validate that, because I don't trust anything in the internet today. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Danny George in the house. Great game. That's how they should be playing every game. Oh, no doubt about it. And it shouldn't take speeches from anybody to motivate you into playing good football. I do like it, though. I like the motivational speeches. I like the Jalen Ramsey stuff and the Jonnu Smith stuff. I like that they got up and spoke. New guys that had just come into the building this year, explaining their MO and what they're about this year and how they feel like this team can win. And I respect that. And I'm all about that rah shit. I'm all about rah shit. As a coach, I know a lot of players think it's corny and stuff, but those guys don't got that fire in their belly. The guys that got that fire in their belly that want to, they like that rah shit too. It gets you fired up. And in football, in a game of football, that's the ultimate team sport. You need that energy, man. And that's the biggest question that I continue to pose to you today. Did the Steelers finally play a team game, a full team game? Because that's what this is all about at every level, man. Football is all about the team. I don't want to hear one individual this. It doesn't make anything. One guy don't make anything in this game. Yeah, sure, there's some superstars that surely they help, no doubt. But this is a team sport. And without that team coming together, nothing happens, man. But Scott also says, yeah, if we keep improving the run game, Aaron can do his famous play actions. We'll see. Tom Ford. That was a great game by the Steelers defense. It was. We got to give them credit, man. We got to give them credit. No doubt about it. What's up, Jay Hook? Long time no see. I like your bringing up the stat boxes. Looks great. Thanks, man. I haven't even talked to you in a hot minute. I hope you're doing well, brother. Jason's been busy too, doing a lot of shit with football and stuff, but now that's slowed down, so I'm back to regular life. Good to see you, Hook. Tom Ford says, by the way, what's up, Jason? The rest of the mic drop gang. Thank you. What's up with you, my friend? Good to see you, Tom. Mark Malone. They have deported the Beaner off the team. I like Beanie Bishop. I get it. He's probably not a starter, but he's a guy that I could rely on if I needed it. I like to have guys like that on the practice squad. Craig Warlow says, yeah, Adam Schefter, 93.7, the fan and the Steelers Digest reported it. Thank you, Craig. Well, if that's true, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, now a Pittsburgh Steeler, does have a significant history with one Aaron Rodgers and could perhaps provide the reps of a number two type guy. But guess what, guys? He is not a number two in this league right now. So is it just another Band-Aid? You look at Marquez Valdez-Scantling's numbers last year, very, very limited, but was able to score, I believe, 4 or 5 touchdowns in 8 games. I had those numbers at one point somewhere floating around here on my table. But Yeah, I know that he was averaging about 20 yards a catch and things of that nature. So we'll see. We'll see what that brings, but we can guarantee this, guys, he is not a number two. He's just not. Maybe he has one more year where he'll give it all he got in these last, handful of games here and help a football team like the Steelers that could use a guy to give you that type of boost. So maybe that does help. We'll see. I'm excited about it. I am. I'm not trying to downplay the significance of it, but we'll have to just wait and see what he has left in the tank. Robert Road in the house. That was fun game yesterday. I saw the end of it about an hour and a half after I hit it ended because of a power outage. Happy to be wrong about the game. Yeah, I was happy that my thoughts weren't correct. I was happy that I picked it right, but I'm glad you got to at least see some of it, Robert. It was a very good game, brother. And definitely, I am always happy to be wrong when the Steelers are the benefactors on the other end of that. Yeah, we got a bunch, man. We got a bunch. We got a bunch of picks next year. They've traded some of those picks, guys. So I don't believe it's as many as the 12 or 13 as it once was. I had that, but guys, they're not. And especially if Marquez Valdez Scantling was brought in, if MVS is brought into the building, there is no more significant trades for the Steelers. Not happening. Just to let you guys know, it wouldn't be for a wide receiver anyway. Because it would just have to be a super sweet, super right deal. And financially, I don't know how the Steelers can swing off any more big moves at this point. But, I'm not a capologist either. Tom Ford, I want to trade Mike Tomlin for Devin. Yeah, I would too, dude. I want to trade Mike Tomlin too, man. Everybody's like, oh, see that? Look what happened yesterday. Mike's great. Come on, man. I look at overall bodies of work. That's what I look at. One offs don't do nothing for me. I got to see a pattern, as Mike Tomlin likes to say. One's a fluke, two, three. That starts to be a pattern. Well, I've seen him become a pattern, and it's a problem. What's up, Daniel Warman? Why does Herbig not get much playing time? Am I wrong? No, I don't know. I would like to see more of Nick Herbig, and I believe that keeps guys like Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt a lot fresher too. So I'm not sure why Nick Herbig has been pushed to the back burner a little bit here since the return of Alex Highsmith. But I would love to see more Nick Herbig because all he does is make plays, and I love it. Black and Gold 36, what's up, man? How are you? But we'll see, man. I don't know why they don't play him as much. Uh, that win yesterday will definitely help us for the wild card. Let's not hope. Let's hope they're not in a wild card situation. Let's hope that. Let's hope that they climb the ladder here. Yeah, I don't know if we still have 12 picks, guys. They've burned some of them. I know that. They just used some in the Kyle Duggar trade, so I don't know if it's quite 12 anymore. We'd have to see. I'll have to research some more too. Um, you can't always trust the internet. You got to go through all the trades too and see. And, they might not have it updated as much. I don't know, but I don't think it's as high as it was. But we did have a boatload there, 12 or 13, yeah. But I know they used some in the Kyle Duggar trade. Craig Werlo, Scantling equals Mike Williams. Need another offensive lineman and maybe a corner so Ramsey can stay at safety. Yeah, you're not going to get an offensive lineman. I tell you guys that all the time. I know that's always on your wish list, guys, and it's always on my wish list too, man. I love offensive linemen. I can't have enough of them. I love getting offensive linemen, especially good ones. And you're not going to get offensive linemen, not at the trade deadline. Why? Because teams don't trade them. Once you get good offensive linemen, you don't get rid of them. As far as Scantling equaling Mike Williams, I think that actually MVS this year would be used far different than Mike Williams last year. Mike Williams was just brought in and never was able to really get into the fold except for that real big catch against the Washington Commanders, which I'm thankful for. That was a big catch and a big win for the Steelers at the time. But right now, this current situation of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think MVS will get involved and actually really be moving here with the offense quickly. Why do I say that? Because of the familiarity that he has with one Aaron Rodgers, and that's going to be able to give him a little bit more of an inside track as opposed to a Mike Williams that had never played with anybody coming into the building. And also, we're not in that building either to understand the dynamic of whether Mike Williams was able to comprehend the offensive system, whether Mike Williams was able to do certain things. I don't know. I thought it would be pretty cut and dry and pretty simple that you just get up there and you bang her out, man. Hey, you got a 9, you got a 7, you got a 6. You know, you're just calling them out the route tree, you know. Hey, you got to dig, you got to cross, you got blah, blah, blah. You know, you got all those things, and that's all the wide receiver needs to know. Other than that, are you fucking blocking? I don't know what's so complex about running as a wide receiver in terms of schematics. I don't think that that's really that fucking big of a deal, but it is what it is sometimes in the Mike Tomlin world. Hey, Wall, the Bang Bang Steeler gang. Why the hell did Mike Tomlin not call a timeout when was 42 seconds left and we were driving down the field? It seems like Tomlin only likes field goals. That was an absolute bonehead thing, and I pointed it out yesterday on the post game. It was gross clock mismanagement. I watched it again, and they burned almost 30 seconds completely off the clock there in that play sequence. Absolutely atrocious, and Aaron Rodgers should have been a little bit better there also. But you really can't blame Rodgers in that situation because he's not trying to turn the ball over there. So he still needed that pre-snap read, that pre-snap movement, motion, switching people around, moving things around to make sure that he had in his head the right situation that was, you know, able to be effective as possible. That, you know, he didn't want to turn the ball over there, and he was protecting the football. So getting up to the line of scrimmage and going as fast as he could have there would have probably, maybe, or possibly could have forced a grave error, a big mistake, and cost the Steelers the 3 points that they did get. It's Mike Tomlin's responsibility to understand situational football, understand clock management, and understand what's going on in the game at all times. And he definitely does not. And anybody that ever wants to argue that, they're fighting a defenseless argument, man. They have no defense there. I can pull up hundreds and hundreds of examples over the years where Mike Tomlin has absolutely been dog shit in terms of situational football and clock management. And that's something that he's never been good at, and that's on him. Uh, Sorry, there we go. Let's get the black and gold 36 here. The play, Danny Smith's gum came up with having Boz kick it off out of bounds, bringing the ball back to the 20 or 25. Everybody thought that that was a bad thing, kicking it out of bounds. No, Danny Smith understands situational football in terms of the special teams, and he understood where that ball was going to come back to. I'm not going to sit here and try to explain all the complexities of this new special teams kickoffs and returns. I'm not going to try to explain all that shit. I'm still learning all the rules myself in terms of all that. But Danny Smith understood where that ball was going to be brought back to in a certain situation wherever you kick it out of bounds. So definitely a really, really smart move on Danny Smith's part and the Boz's part. Boz was even explaining it to teammates as he's coming off the field. It's not like it was before to where, you know, if it goes out of bounds, it's automatically up to the 40-yard line. That's not what it's about anymore. There are different rule variations now with this new kickoff, which I'm not going to sit here and act like I know them. I don't know all the ins and outs. Excuse me, but definitely a very well played. Very well played. Pick swap for Fugger. Kyle Duggar. They must have got a later round. Yeah, I knew they used one. I don't know all of them. Guys, I always tell you, and I don't want anybody to ever get mad at me for this because I don't pay attention to anything draft related. I don't pay attention to the picks. I don't pay attention to who's coming up. None of it until the offseason. I do not. None of it. And I think it gives me, honestly, a better perspective of what's going on in terms of college football. And I say that why? Yes, I don't watch as much of it. And I feel like I'm not as contaminated by these schools going out there and playing freaking Burger University and beating them by 100 and padding their statistics. I feel like Jason is untainted. I go back through and I look at their play only versus quality opponents. That's it. I only look at players that I'm interested in looking at against quality, high level opponents. I never go back and look at, you know, we'll take, for instance, WVU playing some schmuck school, St. Mary's Aloysius of Eastern Tennessee. I don't look at those games. I don't look at Ohio State playing, Burger King University. I don't look at those games, and I think it gives me a clearer picture. Because I got to say this, and I'm not trying to brag or toot my own horn. Some of these picks I've kind of nailed, and it's because I don't let myself become contaminated and consumed by the tat statting that happens in college football. I don't. And I think it gives me a little bit better insight. And I think a lot of people I know love college football and they love to watch it. However, I don't. So I really have no vested interest in it. So it gives me that different perspective, I think. And again, that's not bragging or anything about it. I've just been able to get a little bit clearer picture, I think, with it, because I've taken a step out of it. And I think that happens with a lot of things in life. When you remove yourself from situations, sometimes the picture becomes a little bit clearer. You know what I mean? When you're not as invested in it. Sorry, Robert, I didn't get your comment. I brought it up. The Steelers gave 6 to get Duggar and a 7th. They will still have 12 picks. Okay, thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Robert is my stat guy. Him and Mark, they usually come. Craig got good stats. A lot of you fellows got good stats, but I know Robert will always give me them stats right away. He good on that. I think Danny's Gum is better coach than Tomlin. Probably, I'd agree. I would agree. Craig Werlow, think with both tackles and one of the guards for Chargers being out could be an advantage for the Steelers. Absolutely, and I said that at the top of the show. I think that this could prove to be an excellent opportunity for the Steelers this week, especially with top starters out along the most important group on the football field, and that is that offensive line, because you don't win games unless you score, and you don't win games without a good offensive line. And the saying of "as the line goes, we go," that is so true, guys. And again, I am no offensive line guru. I never played a down of offensive line in my life. I have no idea the complexities that go into being an offensive lineman, and I'm not going to pretend to be some expert on it. But I will say this, and I know this to be 1,000% facts. Without the big men, without the guys in the trenches, none of this works. Point blank, period. They are the most important pieces, and they should be praised as such. I feel like those guys are undervalued and underappreciated a lot of the times, and those guys make the engine start. They make the engine go, man, and they keep it purring. That's definite truth. And you're right, Craig. That could be a very big advantage for the Steelers when 3 pieces of your motor are missing. Zach Curry, we haven't had a real quarterback since Ben has been gone. Rodgers would have utilized him properly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about last year with Mike Evans, man. Russell Wilson was a shell of himself. He really was, and you're seeing that again this year. When with his time with the Giants, just an absolute shell of himself. And Justin Fields, yes, he had moments, and I thought, maybe the Steelers should try to keep him around, but for the price tag that he wanted, he's not worth that. He's not proven anything in the National Football League to deserve that kind of money. And I'm talking about with the money the Jets paid him, and they're finding that out, in my opinion. But we have not had a real quarterback. I thought Mason Rudolph was the closest thing to resembling a real quarterback that we've had since Big Ben Roethlisberger. And to be honest, I love Mason Rudolph's play. I love what he did when he was able to come in for that several game, 3-4 game stretch there toward the end of, I think it was 2023, I believe, or 2022, one of the two. But anyway, I love that stretch, and I thought he played really, really well. But let's face it, he's never been able to put it together fully. Now, whether that's lack of opportunity or lack of talent, I don't know. I've not got to see enough of him with a good football team. What I saw from him last year in Tennessee, I thought he had good moments, but I knew he was playing with an absolute trash football team. So it is what it is. Again, I don't know. Maybe he'll get an opportunity somewhere else. I don't know. But again, I don't know enough about it with Mason. So we'll just say this: Aaron Rodgers is really the only real quarterback that the Steelers have had since the departure of Big Ben Roethlisberger. Hey Q, what's up, Doug? Need to trade Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson for three tight ends. Hell, yeah, that's what we need. More tight ends. No shit, man. No shit. I really did, guys. I really truly thought that the Steelers were going to be able to get away with the tight ends this year, not having a true number two. I really thought that because of the versatility of what I saw from Johnny Smith last year in Miami, from what I've seen Pat Fryermuth been able to do. And I always had a feeling about Darnell Washington and that he could be really, really good. And you heard it from Aaron Rodgers himself Sunday. When Darnell is in the game, we are a better football team. He says it, and he said it blatantly. Whether that was going to hurt Pat or Johnny's feelings, he did not care. He was giving you his honest opinion. When Darnell Washington is in the game, they are a better offense, a better football team. And I truly thought that those guys together, even Connor Hayward somehow managing to get in the mix, I thought that they would be able to be enough of a presence to be able to overcome the situation of not having a true number two. And then you saw the boneheaded play from Roman Wilson, guys. And I've been trying to decipher what Ben Skoranek was saying after the play. If you go and watch the highlights, you can catch, and it was something about what the F were you doing, or why the F did you give him the ball, or why the F did you try for more yards. I can't quite decipher it. I only got the Y and the F part down. That was it. But at the end, I can't quite decipher it. I'm about to make a short about it and see if you guys can figure out exactly what he was saying. But I know he was like, what in the F? And I think he said, why in the F are you trying for more yards? Either he said that or he said, why in the F are you giving him the football? So maybe that's not a good sign for old Calvin Oz or for old Roman Wilson. Hold on, let me get the sequence of your comments here, Black and Gold. Black and Gold 36. Yeah, I'm just saying, enjoying CA3 while we have him. I believe next season is his last on his rookie deal, and probably his last as a Pittsburgh Steeler, unless he comes back at a dramatically low cost. So we'll see what happens there. I do love Calvin Austin III, though. Real high character man, real high character guy, even during training camps and things of that nature. What a class act he is, signing autographs for the kids, talking to people. I've talked to him there. I got to say, a really classy young man. And the Steelers are fortunate to have a young man that's classy and very respectful, like Calvin Austin III. Black and Gold 36 again. He says, yeah, that was a poor series of possessions there. And I don't think we can survive in the playoffs if we were hoping our D can stay healthy enough to bail us out. You cannot, guys, not in today's league. Defense isn't going to win you ball games week in and week out. Sometimes they will. They'll win you one here and there. It's not like the Dick LeBeau days to where the Steelers can score 14 points and win 12 games in a season. It's not going to happen. Not now. You have to be able to score points, and you have to play complementary football more than any other time in the National Football League. You have to. This era of football, this era has to be played as a complete team game, a complete team effort. It's true. The offense has to feed off the defense. The defense has to feed off the offense. The special teams has to feed off of both of them. The coaching has to be able to tailor make their game plans to the personnel. Everybody's athletic. Everybody's super good. The coaches are of utmost importance in these things with the schematics. This is a total team effort, man. And that cannot be looked away. It can't be brushed under the rug. Craig says Jackson Powers Johnson is reported to be on the trade block. Fell out of favor with the Raiders. Would you try to get him? Absolutely not, Craig. You watch Mike Drop Sports, Craig. You know what I said about Jackson Powers Johnson. I didn't like his injury history, first and foremost, and I didn't like the amount of time that he had at center. secondly. And third, I told you guys in that draft, I go back and watch the tapes, go back and watch the videos. I told you that Zach Frazier was the best center in that draft, and there was no way that the Steelers were going to be able to steal him at pick 51, but they were able to. They were able to. That was probably one of the best picks that has happened in a long time in any draft. That was such a valuable pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers at 51. That was such a huge, huge pickup. Jackson Powers Johnson, I wouldn't trade you a sack of dirty laundry for him. Period. Why? Why wouldn't I, as a Pittsburgh Steelers general manager? Because I have the best center out of that draft already. Why would I want to go pick up one that isn't or wasn't even close to the best center in that draft? And you don't fall out of favor. You fall out because you don't perform. I guess that is favor, Craig. You're right. But still, you know me, man. You know me, Craig. And you know that I thought that there ain't no way. There's just no way. Zach Frazier was definitely it. But good question, man. Some other team will get him, Craig. Somebody needs a center somewhere, man. You cover the Steelers, that's good enough. Big leagues. Amen. I love the Steelers, baby. What's up, Breeze? I'm late, but I'm here. We always love you having you, buddy. Good to see you, man. Everybody's name's different on here now, so I call you by your name on there so people know who I'm talking about. Some of these people I know by their profile picture. Some of the viewers, some of our Mike Drop family, I know by their profile picture, some of you how you talk. I know you, and everybody's name like on this app is always different. Sometimes it'll pop it up as your original name, but it's always different on here for some reason. So yeah, some of you though I know instantly by your profile picture and I know exactly who you are. Oh, sorry, Mark. I cleared your comment. Let me see. I don't either, unless I see it. We swapped a 6 for Duggar in the seventh. One more from Black and Gold here, and then we'll get to Robert Road next. He says, yeah, last time Watt went up against Joe Alt, he got injured during the game. Then the backup came in, and Watt still had trouble getting to the quarterback, if I recall. I could be wrong. I can't remember the exact sequence of that game either, Black and Gold. I'm going to go back and take a look at it because there are a lot of the similar pieces in terms of the front of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and a lot of similar pieces also with that Chargers unit. So I would like to see exactly how that all transpired too. So I am going to rewatch that game just for fun. Robert O 4579. Jackson Powers Johnson had massive injury history before being traded, including too many concussions to count. Sixth or seventh round might be worth giving up for him. Yeah, I wouldn't want him, man. You took the words right out of my mouth, man. The injury concerns killed me, and he just simply wasn't the best center, nor did he have the most experience for my liking. I don't want a guy that's only played a position for 1 year out of college, man. Not to play an important position like that. I'm okay with like quarterbacks switching to wide receivers or things of that nature. But these super, super important positions, the anchor of your offensive line in the center position, I need to see some stability. I need to see some longevity there during your collegiate career to let me know that you're worth taking such a high pick on. T Breeze, but we always beat the best teams in the league. How about we not lose to the worst? Yeah, that's another thing that I really, really hate about Tomlin's time. And uh, actually, it's not as bad as we all think. If you look at Tomlin's record against teams that they should beat per se, teams that per se are under 500 or whatever, you look at those statistics, and actually Mike Tomlin has performed really, really well against those teams and does hold a very, very high record against those teams. However, when you lose to a team that you truly, as a fan, believe that you should beat, and a team like the Steelers truly believe that they can beat that team that they're facing, those wins are magnified by 100 times. And that's why we as fans, we all think that, Tomlin can't beat teams that he's supposed to. And I think I feel it too. I think the same way. But in reality, it's not actually that way. And again, I beat Mike Tomlin up for a lot of things, but I always want to be clear with that he's really not that bad. And he's really not that horrible against teams that he should be in reality. Yeah, there's teams that, possess a good record sometimes that we just think like the Steelers should beat them. They're better. But, it is what it is. But here's the thing with the NFL, guys, and this is what I've come to know whenever I'm talking about picking games. And I can't be a good sports bettor. Why? Because I don't watch teams around the NFL intently enough week after week. And that's what you have to be able to do. I watch the Steelers each and every week, and I watch them intently. How I'm able to, a lot of the times, decipher which way I'm going to go in terms of the matchup and who's going to win or who's going to lose, how many points, how many this, whatever, is by going over each individual matchup. And I only look at the team the Steelers are playing just that one time, each year. So I could never be a good sports bettor as a whole. But you got to look at these Steeler games and you got to decipher the matchups, man. You got to look at all the matchups. What kind of a defense do these Chargers, for instance, that we're going to be playing in prime time? How do they like to play their defensive setup? How do the Steelers like to play their offensive setup? And how does that matchup match against that set? How does the individual player matchups break down? Are the Steelers going to be able to utilize a different chess piece by having a player that maybe you wouldn't suspect come into the ball game and create that mismatch that the Steelers will be looking for in order to exploit for a splash play? There are all those variables that come into play with that, man. But definitely, it's really, really hard to decipher a lot of that stuff. Sorry, I know I went off on a little bit of a tangent there. Black and gold. I always loved Ramon Foster and Chemo Von Olhoffen. I love Chemo too, man. And I am a huge Ramon Foster guy, a huge Ramon Foster fan. One of my favorite Steelers of all time is a Ramon Foster. He's in my top 20 Steelers of all time, Ramon Foster. And I know a lot of people would argue and say that's crazy, that's blasphemy. No, being on my top 20 list is more than just being a great player. It's having a good attitude, having a good team attitude. It's a guy that represents what being a Steeler is to me in my head, and a guy that you can actually, carry on a conversation with that isn't a complete freaking douchebag, Ramon Foster is one of those guys that cares, and you can tell that. So I really love the Ramon Foster. I love his story, an undrafted rookie free agent coming into the Steel City, able to become a starter, able to become a Super Bowl champion. I love Ramon Foster, man. I would go to say we re-sign Mason if he wants to stay. He's signed already for next year. He's on a 2-year, $8 million deal. That was the talk this offseason, that it was such a magnificent deal to get such a veteran presence as the backup quarterback. Did Ramon win a Super Bowl or did he lose one? I can't remember if Ramon was on that 08 team or not. I don't think he was on the 05 team. No. I can't remember if he was on the '08 team or not. Maybe he didn't win a Super Bowl, but still, nonetheless, I can't remember exactly. I'll have to research that. I can't remember. Darnell Washington was a badass in that game. Yeah, he didn't have a ton of passing yards, guys, but guess what? Or receiving yards, but guess what? He got the offense moving when it needed to be. So I was really proud, and it was in particular in that one drive where Darnell was really effective. AWOL, bang bang, Steeler gang. We really didn't capitalize off the turnovers. If the Colts had them turnovers, we'd have gotten blown out. We need to score more. Aaron Rodgers needs another legit wide receiver because they double DK. Yeah, I'm all for it, guys. With you on the wide receiver, all for it. I wish we had it. Hopefully, Marquez Valdez Scantling MVS can supply that what we are missing in terms of the wide receiver room. Let's cross our fingers and hope that that's the case. However, you talk about the Steelers and you talk about capitalizing off the turnovers. We have to also remember that the Colts defense is not a slouch. The Colts defense is very, very good. And we have to put that into perspective also. And we also have to put into perspective what kind of defense the Colts play. And we went over that yesterday at nauseum about the too high shell that they play all the time, about what gives Aaron Rodgers fits. They kind of do a lot of that stuff, which, Aaron Rodgers just did enough. He got the win, and that's what you want out of your veteran quarterback. He just did enough to get the win. I think this year is CA3's last under contract. Maybe he is, Mark. I have no clue. You guys would probably know better than me. You have to look it up. Um, Craig says, just wondering. Oh, no, it's okay, buddy. You know me. I go off sometimes. You're all good, Craig. We love having you, buddy. It was a good question. Robert Road, Siamalu can't stay off the field. Stay off the field, and Powers Johnson is now guard. Oh, so Powers Johnson got moved to guard, Robert? He's not a center? Hmm, I don't know. He can't stay healthy, though. That's the thing. That's interesting. I'd have to do a little bit more looking into it. I just don't like the guy's injury history. Our power jumbo package is one of the best in the league, and when you can run behind Anderson, Broderick, and Washington, either Gainwell or Warren would eat all day. Yeah, I can see Malu being injured. That's gonna hurt, and that takes Spencer Anderson out of that sixth offensive line eligible type guy, that eligible end, that extra blocker that the Steelers are utilizing a lot of. So that's going to force the hand there, and they would actually have to find somebody else to do that because you're going to now move Spencer Anderson into guard to take the place of Isaac Seumalo, depending on how long his injuries going to last. Daniel Warman, Carson Palmer doesn't like chemo. No, he doesn't. But honestly, that has been talked about for years. And I will say this: I watched Chemo play for years and years and years and years in this league and in the National Football League. And I will say this: that was not malicious. That was not anything that was meant to be in terms of Chemo doing that to Carson. It was a football incident, accident. I hate it for Carson Palmer. I thought it was horrible because me personally as a fan, I want to see good on good. I want to see best on best. That's what I like to see. Did it help the Pittsburgh Steelers? Absolutely. Carson Palmer was a phenomenal, phenomenal franchise quarterback. And honestly, he deserved better than what the Bengals gave to him. But that was not a malicious play. And that definitely was not something that he meant to do. Robert Rhodes says Foster was rookie after they won it. He missed a ring by 1 year. Thank you, Robert. I could not remember if he was on that '08 team or not. Definitely that sucks for Ramon to not get a chip. He did play in one and lost, though, evidently, because they did make it back and lost to the Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers. Darius, I've fallen and I can't get up. Slay. What's up, Challenger? Yeah, he sucks. He's had a great career. He just doesn't want to hit anybody. I think it was Kiesel that knocked Palmer out. No, it was Kimo von Oelhoffen. Go back and watch the highlight. You'll see it black and gold. A lot of people want to say that it was a malicious hit. Daniel Warman also says, I agree, Jason. He was a great person when he played in Cincinnati. Yeah, and being a former Bengal, that's another icing on the cake there for me. As a former Bengal, I couldn't see a guy want to do that. And honestly, these guys all understand that this is their livelihood. This is how they feed their kids. This is their job, you know. And I couldn't see a veteran player like Chemo doing that to somebody that they know. That's how they take care of their family. It just doesn't strike me as something in Chemo's DNA. I've had a lot of arguments with Cincinnati fans over the years about that. I had a couple friends that were diehard Cincinnati Bengals fans, like, I mean, die hard growing up. And when that happened, they were literally just constantly saying it. And it was just like, look, dude, I just can't see it. I can't see it at all. All right, guys, is there anything you guys want to talk about here on a Victory Monday as the Pittsburgh Steelers did defeat the Indianapolis Colts that were once 7-1, now 7-2, and defeat them. Now the Steelers sit 5-3 and in control in the driver's seat right now after a Bengals loss Sunday against the Chicago Bears in a very wild game, guys. If you want to see a wild football game, with over 100 points, I believe, scored or close to 100 points scored. Go and watch Bengals Bears and watch that game. It was absolutely freaking crazy. The Bengals are a team that has lost the most games when scoring over 30 points, I believe, in league history, probably. I know it's been over the last 5 seasons for sure, or the last several seasons. They've lost so many of those games, but yet they're still able to put a ton of points up on the board. They just cannot figure it out defensively. Rubber Road says Chemo felt awful about Carson being hurt like that. Yeah, I've heard the interviews. He was tore up about it. I don't, even after it happened, he was just like, "Oh shit!" Like waving for people to come. Like he understands. He's a big ass dude, and the way he fell into his leg, he knew he fucked it up, and definitely he knew that right away. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was Brett. Um, He's a big dude too. I know. Yeah, I know for sure it was Chemo on that one. Challenger, the guy who put the Palmer injury on the 50 greatest plays of the Steelers made Steeler Nation look bad. Yeah, whoever did that is a dick beater, man. That was not a great play at all, dude. We have these rivalries inside of the AFC North, but you never, ever, ever celebrate somebody getting destroyed like that, man. Not injury. I love big hits. I love those knockout hits, but I do not want to see somebody get their knee ripped the fuck apart for nothing. I don't want to see it. So anybody that thinks that that's a great play is pretty shitty. Hey, Q Big Dog, if they can turn this season into something, you now have wins over 2 AFC division leaders. Yeah, guys, when you look at the division leaders right now, you have the Patriots, you have who else? The Colts. You have the what? Pats, Colts, Steelers, and who would be the other one? Pats, Colts, Steelers. Who's leading the? Are the Chargers in the lead down there? I can't remember. Somebody help me. I know the other division leader. So the Steelers have beat the Pats. They beat the Colts, and that's 2 top teams in the AFC. And that's what I said yesterday, Doug. I said that was going to be absolutely special in terms of that, considering you hold those head-to-head matchups against 2 of the top 2 AFC contenders right now. That was Jason Campbell. They said he low hit Jason Campbell. Maybe, buddy. I can't remember that one. I remember Jason Campbell for the Commanders, well, Redskins at the time. Rubber Road, the over-under tonight is only 52.5. Dallas defense is as bad as any. The over looks like easy money. Hey, man, I might throw some on that. Broncos. That's who. Thank you, Robert. Broncos, they're 7-2. Yes, so you have the Broncos, Pats, Steelers, Colts. Those are the 4 division leaders right now. And the Steelers hold wins over 2 of those. So let's see what happens here. Too bad they don't play the Colts this year, but maybe they'll play them in the playoffs. Maybe that's an AFC championship game matchup. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Well, I'm not that upset about the Juju hit on Burfict, F Burfict. No, he's the only player that I ever applauded getting knocked the fuck out like hurt. I hate Vontez Burfict more than anything, and he deserves whatever he had coming to him. He was a very dirty, malicious, nasty, arrogant asshole player. I could not stand Vontaze Burfict, and it wasn't because he played for the Bengals. His arrogance was absolutely disgusting and had no business being in the game. They want to talk about James Harrison and the hits, the violent hits that he used to put on people. At least his were fucking legal in terms of what I feel like football should be played like. Yeah, they deem them as penalties or whatever because they're just big hits. But I thought James Harrison just knocked the shit out of you. He played the game the right way, if you ask me. I thought Vontaze Burfict literally tried, like planned to hurt people, in my opinion. I may be wrong. That's Jason's opinion on one player in the NFL, but I definitely thought Vontaze Burfict deserved everything he got. And that's the only player I've ever said that about. And that's probably the only player I will ever say that about. Yeah, I don't know if that changed AB's character. I think AB was a dick beater before that. Ryan Clark reported it too. I just think AB was just a crazy lunatic. And once he got fucking money, he went bonkers. And, he's an idiot. A guy with his mentality and his intelligence level to have that kind of money is fucking dangerous, man. Dangerous. Tim Couch. I don't know who Tim Couch is. Oh, I do. The Browns quarterback. Sorry. I remember that now. Challenger, they have a plaque at Jack's Casino in Cleveland of Turkey Jones dropping Bradshaw on his head. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Well, Cleveland's a bunch of... Yeah, we'll leave that for another day. All right, guys, Jason's going to get up out of here. Remember to like, share, subscribe. We appreciate you guys so very much. Make sure you are joining the show each and every day here on Mike Drop Sports. We are back on the fucking grind. As far as the daily upload today, I did try to upload it. It loaded for 3.5 hours, and finally, I just quit trying. I don't know what was up with YouTube today, if it was my internet or what. I did have trouble with other applications and things of that nature. I tried to go off the Wi-Fi, and that even didn't do much for me. So, yeah, we'll try to re-upload some things tomorrow and get that done. But again, I appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. If you are so inclined, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button, and come over on TikTok. We're going to start posting back on there again, and X. And don't forget, we do have a Facebook page, and we're going to start doing individualized content for both Facebook and TikTok. X, I'm not really that active on, but we do have one. But I'm going to start doing some TikTok specific content, and I'm going to start doing some Facebook specific stuff that's a little bit different that you don't find here on YouTube. So come check us out on there and join in the fun each and every day. So until what's tomorrow? Tuesday. Until Tuesday, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports, and we're going to be out of here, man. See you guys.
Power takes an approach as a coach.
Let's go. It's a field back block, and that's